If you follow racing, there's a good chance you know Leonard Wood, chief mechanic and crew chief of the 21 Ford. Creative force behind the famous Wood Brothers pit stop. Engineer for cars driven by some of the biggest names in the sport. Leonard Wood has been involved in NASCAR since 1950. He started out as my dad's 15-year-old mechanic, and sometimes I think he's still 15. But like I was saying, everybody knows what he's done in racing, but what they don't know is how he got there. I don't want to tell you about Leonard Wood, but what I do want to tell you is about my uncle. I call him Lee. He never planned it, but Lee's always been a Ford man.
We both were pretty good artists, and of course he always drew Fords, and I drew Chevrolets. He was always very good, very precise on what he drew.
And although my dad, Glenn, became the first Wood Brothers driver, Lee was the real daredevil.
We enjoyed riding the bicycles to school. There's a right length of hill between the home and the school, and while the bus was coming around the curve, we'd pass it. And Leonard was drafting. He came up on me quicker than he thought, and he went over about a 20-foot bank, just tumbling. I'm not sure whether we did that anymore or not.
Most kids have a certain sense of adventure, but Lee took it to a whole different level. He's got the most natural understanding of physics, engineering, and just plain common sense. And that came at a very young age. At 6, he was tightening cylinder heads with my grandpa. And at 14, Leonard took a gas-powered washing machine engine and built himself a little bitty car.
It was kind of amazing for him to make a thing like that early in life. He made that out of scrap stuff, and what wasn't quite made to his need, he would trim it around to make it fit. Daddy was a mechanic, and Leonard was right there watching him. So when we first needed the engine overhauled, Leonard said he could do that.
He would work on the cars the biggest part of the night, and he'd come to school the next day and lay his head down on the desk and take him a little nap. We had a school teacher, and she looked at him and says, "Boy," says, "you'll never amount to nothing." Was she wrong?
All along, Leonard's mind ran faster than any race car, expressed through hand-carved toys, model cars, and even four-wheel drive lawnmowers. He's a tinkerer, a thinker, who to this day won't slow down or even act his age. But that's why we all love him.
When he got home, we'd have a midnight snack, that we would call it, and then he would take me to bed and he would pretend to be a train, and he loves to dance. He'll just grab you and twirl you, so you better be ready. That's just, I guess, the little kid in him.
His sense of youth, the fact that he was always looking forward, is what made our team so successful.
You got to be thinking ahead all the time, trying to improve. You don't want to stand still, because if you think you got it world by the tail, well, they're gonna get you. But if you got a passion for something, it makes it way easier. I loved it.
You know, I think my uncle is right about not standing still. After all, going into a Hall of Fame doesn't change what you did. It reflects who you are. And Lee, we admire you for your devotion to your family, to this sport, and to all the people you have touched. But your character is still your greatest achievement. You were a man way ahead of your time, but now it's your time.